What is up, guys? My name is Lex. Welcome back to the vlog. When I say MIA, what does that make you guys think of? Miami International Airport? How about the musical Mamma Mia? Or how about Missing in Action? Missing in Action, that has been me over the last 2 months. When I first started making this poker vlog, I would make 2 poker vlogs every single week, 8 poker vlogs a month. I somewhat slowed down over the last year and a half, and I was doing 1 poker vlog every single week for the entirety of the year. And then recently, I've only been making 1 video every 2 weeks, only 2 videos in a month, and I have a few reasons why. So first reason was that during the month of July was the World Series of Poker. There was so much poker content going out into YouTube, into Instagram, Twitter, and instead of trying to compete for views against the WSOP, Poker Go, a bunch of vloggers, daily vlogs, Daniel Negreanu, I decided to take a little bit of a break. I wasn't out of the World Series of Poker in Vegas. I was back here in Florida, and I decided, look, I'll just kind of relax during this time, during this huge poker craziness of all this content being out, and I'll take the rest of the month of July and just kind of play poker and give myself a little bit of a break from YouTube. The second reason I've been taking somewhat of a break from YouTube is because I started a new business venture. I started a new business down here in South Florida, and that is a game runner. I had been thinking about this for over a year now, and 2 months ago I acted on it. Started a game at Seminole Casino, Coconut Creek, and today is our 9th weekly consecutive game. It's 5-10 no limit, always a ton of fun and a ton of action. Putting together and organizing this game has taken up a bunch of time, hence why I haven't been posting as many poker vlogs, but we're here today. I'm filming $3,000 buy-in. Let's go. There's a raise from an active player from early position. I call on the button with 8-9 suited, and the straddle calls 3 ways to 2-8-9, top 2 pair. My opponent bets out $200, and against this guy, I just want to raise right away. I make it $500 to go back over to him, and he pretty quickly makes the call. $1,200 left in his stack to a bag card on the turn. It pairs the board with another 2, and he checks over to me. I'm clearly now counterfeit. Any bigger overpair beats me, so I check back, and the final card's a 10, and he snap bets out for $1,200, basically putting himself all in, leaving himself with around $50 left. I don't like this spot. Any 10 is now beating me with Jack 10. A straight gets there as well. Queen Jack. Any overpair beats me. Aces, kings, and queens. I don't see too many bluffs after he calls the flop and then bets his size on the river, so what looked like a great flop turned out to be a terrible run out. I decide to fold my 2 pair and lose this first pot. A little while later, I get pocket jacks on the button, raised to 125 over a straddle and call. Only the straddle player makes the call, and we're heads up to a king high board, which I check back. Turn card, he checks to me again. I bet small, and he folds. The first interesting hand of the night comes when there is no straddle on. There's a raise to 40. I re-raise pocket 10s out of the big blind to $175, and my opponent calls. Heads up out of position to queen 10-9, 2 diamonds. A very wet and connected flop. Making middle set, of course I have to bet here. I make it $200. My opponent calls pretty quickly, and we see the 6 of hearts on the turn. I decide to get a little tricky and trappy now and check out of position, hoping that maybe 1, he'll bluff with a hand like ace-jack, ace-king, or he might have a flush draw or potentially a queen. He may want to value bet. Over here to my opponent, who thinks and fires out a $500 bet. With $1,200 left in his stack, now the question is, what do? I could continue to lay the trap and slow play, or I could spring the trap and raise, putting him all in. I think the second option's better versus this bet size, so I put all my chips in the middle. $1,200 more for him to call. He doesn't snap call me, meaning he does not have a straight or pocket queens. I'm hoping he's got something like top pair, king queen, ace queen, maybe a straight draw and flush draw, but he folds rather quickly. Later on told me he had ace-king, so we probably could have got that one all in pre-flop. Never know what the river would have been, but not going to complain. Take down a decent pot here with a set on the flop. I try to win this next hand with some aggression. When I raise 7-9 suited in later to middle position, the straddle is on now. We're playing 5-10-25. Heads up to a flop of Jack 4-4 with 1 spade. I think if he doesn't have a jack or a pocket pair, he's going to fold. I don't think I have to bet too big to get all those hands to fold, so I just bet $50 and he makes the call. thinking now he could possibly have top pair, maybe ace high, maybe he even called me with some backdoor draws. Turn card's another small card. I don't think it's going to connect very well with him. And I think if I bet again, I can get basically every hand to fold but a jack. I make it $200 and he very quickly calls. Now I'm almost confident he's got top pair, so when the final card's a 7, I actually considered triple barrel bluffing here, trying to represent those big overpairs with a huge 2x pot size river bet. Also considering I have a 7, I block him from having a hand like pocket 7s that was calling me down the entire time, but I check back with my showdown value, and it's probably a good thing we do when he rolls over ace-jack for top pair, top kicker. One of my favorite parts about this game is every dealer change we do a PLO double board bomb pot. They are always good for action. $1,500 cap per person, so it's big, but it's not too crazy big. As you can see, we do not connect with anything on this board, which leads us to the next hand where the cutoff raises to 75. I 3-bet to $300 on the button with a mystery hand, and the small blind puts in a cold 4-bet to $800. I'm going to let you guys sweat the action here. I'm not going to show you guys my cards until the hand is over. It folds back over to me. My opponent's got around $500 left. I have to decide what I want to do. I think I got it on there. All right, this is going to be a mystery hand for the folks back home. All in.
Do you want me to turn around?
I have looked, but I didn't show him.
No, I know, I understand.
You were full of shit. Did your card say, oh my god? You were dicking around?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had a real hand. That's the same thing. Suck out, baby. Right, suck out one time.
Let's go twice.
Suck out.
Unless you want to go once.
You can go twice.
Okay. It sounds like my opponent got his hand caught in the cookie jar. When I announce all in, he reluctantly calls. We're going to run out this board 2 times. Like I said, you guys don't know what I have. I could have queens, could have pocket 9s. Well, not anymore with another 9. This first run out looks pretty good for my 5-betting range. The second flop comes out 8 high with a turn ace and a river brick.
Oh, you're fucked.
You got ace jack?
You just lost both boards.
No, we chopped.
Oh my god.
After seeing my opponent's cards, we were very close to scooping this $3,000+ pot, but he finds a jack on the first run out, and we're going to chop this one up.
We'll take that.
I'm like, the only thing I beat is 10.
We'll take
You
that.
got really lucky with your jack.
That's why you get invited to the game. Good job. Oh, man. Nice hand. It's rolling, buddy. Do whatever you want to do. Whoa, not that much.
That's good. Good size. Good size.
Sheesh.
Stop holding, okay?
Sheesh.
You're sitting with 3,000 at 4. I mean 15. I can't.
The same player who 4-bet called it off with ace-jack offsuit and chopped versus my ace-king 3-bets me. I've got king-jack suited and make the call. We end up checking this one down to the river where I put out a small bet, but it doesn't matter. He's got queen-jack. He folds, and I win this one with king high. A few orbits later, I get dealt in another premium hand. Button opens up to 75, small blind for me, pocket kings. I make it $300. Player to my left, who likes to get in there, makes the call, and the button makes the fold. Heads up out of position to king 10-4. Another set, this time top set. Now, of course, I love flopping the nuts, but it's going to be hard to get some action. I bet very small here, 150 into a $600+ pot, just praying he comes along with something or maybe tries to bluff. He says he needed a little card flop and folds. Makes me think maybe he had a small pair of suited connectors. I win a small one here with pocket kings. If you live in the South Florida area or if you're here on vacation or work and want to play this game, send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram. Tonight we ordered a lot of food. Tiramisu, calzones, 2 boxes of pizza, cannolis, meatball subs. We got mozzarella sticks, calamari, chips. We went all out tonight, leading into another hand where there's a raise on the button. I just call in the small blind with queen 10 suited, and the straddle calls as well, and I flop a flush on a small card board. I check, straddle checks, and the button unfortunately checks behind. Turn is a 5. Now any 6 or ace makes a straight. I'm not going to check and try to let these guys do the betting for me. I have to bet myself. $200 to go. Straddle thinks and calls. Button folds. Heads up now out of position to an offsuit 8. I think I'm going to get more value here by checking, trying to induce my opponent to bluff or bet with a straight so I can check raise. So I check over to him, He looks back at his cards and thinks, goes to his chips and grabs 400, 500, and then eventually he just mucks. He later said that he had a club and was thinking about trying to make a move. I wish he would have, but he decided to check this one back, and this ends up being the last hand of this session. Unfortunately, it wasn't the most crazy, action-packed, wild, big, swingy hands for this vlog. I was pretty card dead and somewhat spot dead, not too many big, interesting hands, but I feel like this pretty much sums up what could happen if you go play poker on a weekday night. Maybe you're card dead for a while and you have to fold, and you finally get all in ace-king versus ace-jack and have him dominated and have to chop it up. Maybe you flop a flush and win the least amount of value. That's how poker is sometimes. You can't control the cards. You can't control the swings. Still had a great time at this game. 9th consecutive weekly game, and it's going strong. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I ended up profiting a little bit on the night. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see ya.